everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here in Vegas with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here in the Arctic with my bestie Jessica.
It's not the Arctic. It's 67. It's comfortable. She's good. She's good. I don't know.
Please, in the comments, is 67 a normal temp?
It really is. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, it's time for those 1 minute book recs. Anyhow, what happens when we drop a lot of weight? We get cold, okay?
Why are you yelling?
Because you're talking too low and they'll never hear it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our shut up. This is our 1 minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with a 1 minute synopsis for each book. We don't have a timer today, so let's hope we can handle that 1 minute, Mandy. And I only say that because I know Mandy read way more than me this week.
Why didn't you grab your computer and do the timer on it?
No, it's over there. I can't be bothered. Okay, so it's the end of the event. We're tired. I can't be bothered. But before we get started talking about books.
Well, thank you for being here. And if you're new, we would love for you to hit that subscribe button and make sure you check back for more videos from us, which I'm supposed to say. So thank you. Please like and comment.
Yeah. It's been a long day. Okay, so if you hear yelling and screaming, it's because there's a whole bunch of college-age kids here, and they've been living it up all weekend. We hear them up and down the hall. So sorry if you hear any background noise, but we can't control it.
Yeah.
We're hoping they go to bed before 4 a.m. Like that. Okay, so let's talk about our reading week. I know you read a bunch this week, but how was your week?
I read 10 books, and I had some good books, and I had some not so good books.
Okay, all right. Well, I rated 5. It's a travel week. I am slow on travel weeks, but I read 5, and they were all pretty good.
Okay.
Now that we know all about their life outside the door, Mandy, why don't you get started?
Okay, my first book is called Roaring Fork. Roaring Fork.
Okay.
What's the rest of it, though? Got cut off. Roaring Fork Wrangler. Are we gonna? I don't think I'm gonna have time to edit this video.
Yeah, there's some screaming going on in the hall. Someone's a hoe. Okay, let's talk about your Okay.
So Roaring Fork Wrangler by Heather Slade.
Yes.
Sorry.
And by the way, we are doing it this way because Mandy will have to edit quickly tomorrow night.
Yes. Okay, so this is about Cord. Cord comes to town to receive his inheritance, and nobody knows why this was left in the will, but he has to go work on this other ranch. And he's not very happy about it, but he has to go work there for a year to receive his inheritance. And nobody knows anything about this other ranch, why he was told he has to go there. He meets Junie, and they kind of have feelings for each other, but he's just really an ass to her. Like, some stuff happens and he's just a jerk, and I don't really see why she likes him. And while everything does eventually get explained, it was just kind of, it was too much of like, wait, what? Like, what's happening type stuff. And I just didn't really care for the book that much. So I rated it 3 stars.
Okay, cool.
It was Cowboy, by the way. Okay.
Well, the first book that I read is one that was a reread for me, but I was working in the warehouse and I needed something that was easy, that I didn't have to think a lot about. And so I did a reread of Real by Katie Evans. Wow. Sorry. Real by Katie Evans. So this is an MMA. This is definitely an older one. It's an older but goodie. This is about our heroine, Brooke, who is, she's graduated from college. She's, she does something with athletics. I can't remember what it was again. And Remy, who is an underground boxer, and he hires her on to be his sports therapist, and they travel all over the place. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Like when he meets her, he jumps out of the ring and goes and gives her a peck on the lips and just wants to know who she is. And then they kind of fall into this relationship situation. Remy has a lot of secrets and a lot of things that is keeping them from getting close, and he just wants her to know the real him. If you like other women drama, I'm going to tell you, this is one of those books that gives you the other women drama without giving you the other women drama, and so it really gives those feels, and I really like it. So it's still a great book.
Okay, next up for me is Daddy Heart MD by Holly James. So
Trying to find it.
it should have been in the second thing I sent you.
Oh, there it is.
So this is a novella. And basically, Sawyer is our hero. He basically like walks out into he's a doctor. He walks out into the waiting room and is basically like, your, loved one has survived thanks to me. And I would love to go grab drinks with you now that I'm no longer your father's doctor or whatever.
Oh.
And then he like hooks up with them and moves on to the next one. So I was having a hard time with Sawyer here, okay. Dr. Sawyer. And he just kind of sleeps around and he's a jerk. He sleeps with Faye. He gets her pregnant. And honestly, I don't understand why Faye even wanted to bother to tell him. He's just kind of was a jerk. I just didn't really care for him. And because it's a novella, there wasn't any change from like there wasn't a lot of time for development. Does that make sense for him to really change? And so I really didn't enjoy it. I rated it 2 stars.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, well, the next book that I have, that I read is about a doctor as well. This is Keeping Her Under by Miranda Grant. This is a very controversial book. It is dark. Miranda is one of the darkest authors I've ever read. This is about our heroine, Summer, who is in a car accident and has to have emergency surgery. And as she's going into surgery, she looks up into the eyes of her anesthesiologist, who is, his name is Wrath. What are you doing? Wrath, who is our anesthesiologist, our doctor here, and he discovers that she has a certain condition that if he doesn't treat her properly, she will go into a coma. So he allows that to happen because he has feelings, and not like those kinds of feelings. He just wants the boner. And so he keeps her under. He does. He keeps her in a coma for about a week. I think it's a week to 2 weeks. So that he can manipulate that. Now things don't start to happen for them until the later part of the book. And yes, eventually she does wake up, but it's just, you can see why it's controversial, because there isn't the consent giving aspect of it. But again, this is fiction, and I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I think she's getting a bad rap for what it is, and you don't have to read it and you don't have to like it, and that's okay, but I did. So it's all good.
Good for you, you weirdo.
Pretty much. There's a lot of people going in and just giving it 1 star and they're like review bombing it, and I just feel like that's horrible. If you don't want to read it and this isn't your cup of tea, move on. You don't have to review bomb the author.
Exactly.
It just makes no sense to me. So move on. Okay.
Okay, so next I listened to Chasing Love by Piper Rain. It's the next book in the Plain Daisy Ranch series. It comes out on October 21st, and the narration's done by J.F. Harding and Aaron Mallon. So this is Delaney and Bennett's story. So Delaney's husband ends up in prison for doing some shady stuff, and so she packs up her daughter and herself and comes back home to the place where Plain Daisy Ranch is. And she's gonna run into Bennett, who is our hero, and they were high school, they were together in high school. We see lots of flashbacks of how everything came to be. But Bennett is a single dad to a daughter who is going to be in the same class as Delaney's daughter, who also happens to be Bennett's, and Bennett doesn't know.
Oh.
Yes. So this is, I don't know if we can still call this secret baby, because it's now like,
well, it's still secret child, but yeah.
But yeah. So I loved this one and I rated it 5 stars. It was really good and the narration is good.
Okay.
Also, there's a really good reason that she hasn't said anything, and it was pretty heartbreaking.
Okay. All right. Well, the next book that I read is The Patriot by Jennifer Milliken. Mandy told me about these covers, and that was all it took to get me to read them. And so this is a cowboy romance. This is a small town second chance cowboy romance. But this is about Dakota and Wes. So Wes is a military vet, and he did like 3 tours overseas, and he has some trauma from that. And he works for his dad on the family ranch, and his dad has decided that they're going to sell some land for reasons. And he's not very happy about this. Wes is not very happy about this. But Dakota's father, Dakota, is her heroine, and her father decides that he's going to be the one to buy that land. And so she comes in with her dad from the big old city, and she's trying to figure out what they're going to do with the land and how they're with all the good stuff with that. But when they go to talk with Wes and his father about the land, that is when she realizes that Wes is a guy that she had a one night stand with 5 years ago, who broke down crying because he had just got home from one of those tours, and he lost it on her. And he also realizes that that's her, and he's obviously mortified because of how that went down. So this is their story. I gave it 4 stars.
Okay, next up, I read My Husband's Fiance. This is a thriller. This is by Wendy Owens. So we have Liz. Liz is arrested and then convicted and sent to prison for murdering her husband's mistress. And I will say to check some triggers because it's kind of sad how they ended up in this place. Nathan's fiance now comes to visit her in prison, and she's trying to convince her that she did not do this and that she's innocent. But here's the kicker. She planned the murder. She was going to murder his mistress, but she is like, no, I planned it. I had it all down and I decided not to, but somebody else carried it out.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what'd you give it?
I gave it 4 stars.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I like a good thriller.
Yeah. Well, the
Are you
next.
going to sing for them again?
No, they don't want their eardrums broken today. Okay, so the next book that I read is one that I have been anticipating for a while, and I've been in touch with this author as she's been writing it. So this is The Villain by Natasha Knight. This will release on the 22nd. Audio will be out on the same day as well, and Natasha sent me an ALC for this one. She sent me actually everything for this one, but I just listened to the audio because we were flying. So this is about Allegra and Cassian. So what are you doing? You keep leaning over and the picture's like going over. Okay, so
I'm trying to look at my notes.
Cassian is our mob boss, like always. And Allegra's brother has done Cassian dirty. And so Cassian decides that until her brother, like he gives her brother a week to pay him back $4 million. And as collateral, he is going to keep Allegra until that can happen. And so he basically kidnaps and takes Allegra with him. She's not very thrilled about this, but Allegra she's never been really exposed to a lot of the mob life. He thinks that she's, am
I still holding this?
You don't have to. He thinks that she's a little more experienced than what she is. And he thinks that she's a little more hardened than what she is. But what he comes to find out real quickly is that somebody is abusing her. She's missing one of her fingers. He finds burns on her body. And so it kind of ups the ante. So this is a duet. This is book 1 in the duet. It will be out on October 22nd. Book 2 will be out, I think, a week later. I think it comes out before the end of the month. Don't quote me on that, but it is coming very, very soon. Within 2 weeks of this book being released. So it'll be here very soon, but there is audio on the same day, and I gave it solid 4 stars. It'll probably be higher when I read the second half. I like to rate Natasha's as a duet as a whole. So I'll wait for that second one before I make my actual final, star review. So, But it was great.
All right, next I have Play Fake by Lisa Suzanne. This comes out on October 23rd in audio and in the book. The audio is done by Sean Masters and Vanessa Vasquez. Okay, so this is the Bradley Legacy, so it's the second book in that series, but these are all interconnected standalones. So Dex gets a baby literally just kind of dropped off on him. And so we have secret baby, but the secret baby is not with our heroine. So he ends like this woman just shows up, has this baby, says, something's going on. You have to take our kid. Toodles, basically, is what happens. It's kind of sad though. And so he goes for a run to let the mom say goodbye to the baby, basically, and he's trying to clear his head. So he goes for a run and he runs into Ainsley, is it Ainsley? Ainsley.
Yeah, my friend's daughter is named Ainsley.
So he runs into her, and she was just on one of those reality TV shows where she was supposed to get married after only a few weeks, and she said, I do, he said, I don't, and so she kind of was humiliated, so she ran. So she's literally a runaway bride at this point. And they run into each other. They know each other because she is like former best friends, maybe still best friends with his little sister. And so um he kind of tells her what's going on. She tells him what's going on. And so they decide to that she's going to live with him and help him with the baby for the time being while he figures out what on earth to do about this whole situation. And while she can kind of, decompress from everything that just happened. So I really, really like this one because he is a true bad boy. A lot of times we read books where we're told that the hero is a bad boy, but the second he meets like the heroine, all of it goes away. Well, we see lots of things that he's done, and he really struggles to make like the decisions he should be making. Because that's not how he's been, but I just really, really liked it that he struggles with that in this. And also, the dad is horrible, like his dad. Ugh.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. 5 stars.
All right. Well, my last book for the week is called, Breaking Lucia. And this is by Addison Wolfe and Risa Donovan. This is the first book in a trilogy. I saw the audio was out for this one, and I got all excited because I've been wanting to read this one for a while, because I did love their Claiming Vanessa series. So anyhow, so this is Vanessa. If you've read that one, Lucia is the sister. So to Vanessa. So in this book, Lucia is on the run. Her father has decided that he's going to marry her off to this madman, and it's Mafia, obviously, and she wants nothing to do with this guy. He actually murdered his wife before her, and so she doesn't want anything to do with him. And so she goes on the run, and when she gets to the train station, she's on this train. That is when a rival Mafia guy, who is Victor, kidnaps her and takes her back to his compound so that he can. What are you doing? He's going to kidnap her and take her back to his compound so he can use her as collateral for her father. But what he doesn't find out, like until he gets her, is that she does not want to go back to her father. She begs him to keep her, and she'll do anything for him to keep her. Well, he decides that, that anything is to pleasure him and his 2 buddies. And then they'll keep her for a while. So I gave it 4 stars. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm anxious to continue reading. That was my week.
Okay. So next, I read Holiday Unscripted by Natasha Madison. This comes out on October 24th. Wow, what date's that? October 24th in the physical book, ebook, or audio. I listened to the audio. The audio is by Jason Clark and Samantha Cook. It is phenomenal audio. I loved it a lot. So we have Elizabeth. She's a doctor in Australia, and she has come back to the States, come home for her brother's wedding. And it's obviously at the holiday times, like over Christmas, which is funny because this is like the second book I've read like this recently. But anyways, very, very different though from the other book I read, Marry Me, where the wedding takes place over the holidays. Anyway, so he is having like a week-long holiday wedding thing, okay? And I really appreciate that Elizabeth calls him out quite frequently on how the shit of him and his, bride dominating this entire week. Because sometimes we read books like that, and it just seems so normal that everybody would just have all this time in the world to dedicate to like all of these like winter festivities for this wedding. So I really like that she called him out on it multiple times. She is a little snarky, but I think listening to it, I appreciated her snarkiness. I don't know how that would have read. Does that make sense? So anyway, she gets home. Her parents forget to pick her up at the airport. So when she finally gets to their house, she's like feeling a little bitter about the fact that nobody could be bothered to pick her up from the airport. And they have given away her bedroom, so she has nowhere to stay. So her brother's best friend, Nate, is like, you can stay with me. She does not want to stay with Nate because they have some history. But that is the only choice that she has. So from there, we continue with their story. So we kind of have an enemies to lovers forced proximity vibe. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 5 stars. Next, I read My Wife's Secrets by Wendy Owen. So this is the next book in my husband's what was that called? Oh my gosh, My Husband's Fiance. Jeez. So this is the next book in there, and this is told from Nathan's point of view, but it picks up where the last book left off, and now it's his point of view on what's going on. So again, it's a thriller. I really enjoyed it, and I rated it 4 stars. I don't want to say too much about it because it would give spoilers to what happens in the first book. Okay, then I read Mr. Bentley by Mackenzie Fox. This is Ariana, and Ariana catches her boyfriend cheating.
Where is it?
Well, where is Mr. Bentley? Did I not send it to you?
Mm.
Uh-oh. Can you find it on Goodreads, Mr. Bentley? It has Wander as the model, the cover model. So anyways, Ariana catches her boyfriend cheating on her, so they break up.
Who's the author?
Mackenzie Fox. I thought I said that, did I not?
I don't think so.
I read Mr. Bentley by Mackenzie Fox. Anyways, so once again, Ariana has caught her boyfriend cheating on her. They break up. So now we fast forward a little bit of time later. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And she is going to Mexico for a vacation. And she had gotten a tip from Mr. Bentley about this resort to stay at. So that's why they're staying at this resort. And she ends up running into him there. And he is not aware that they've broken up or anything like that. So she like kind of tells him, but she doesn't trash talk his son or anything like that. Well, they keep running into each other on this trip, and he is like really, really attracted to her. And he now knows that they've broken up and that maybe his son was not making, you know, the best of choices. And he actually starts to question himself, like, am I having a midlife crisis? Like, why am I so attracted to her? So they end up deciding to hook up in Mexico. And from there, we have like, how is this going to work? Because it's obviously a significant age gap, and he is her ex-boyfriend's dad. I loved it. Gave it 5 stars.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Dante by Sadie Kincaid. I'm so glad that I got that right for you there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Dante. Oh, part of my fortune cookie. Fuck. Oh my gosh, it's like stuck in there. Okay, I guess I'll have to deal with that later.
Mm-hmm.
So Dante takes Kat to repay her brother's debt. So this is Mafia captive. And he's holding her captive and decides that he's going to use her for whatever. But he actually likes her and she likes him back. It was a little bit of a stretch for me to make this jump there because I didn't really see where that happened yet. But I made the jump and continued. And then she finds out she's pregnant and she kind of freaks out. So she tries to escape. He catches her and then he's just a royal ass to her for a really long time. There's no grovel in it. And that kind of bothered me. I felt like he should have had a little bit of remorse for some of the stuff that went down and stuff that happened to her and things, and he doesn't really. So I rated it 4 stars, but it was like a soft 4 stars. I really wanted him to be a little bit sorry about being such an ass because he's pretty mean in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the audiobook is narrated by Tor Tom, and I do not remember the other narrator's name. I just know it's Tor because we're friends with Tor.
Yeah, we saw Tor today.
Yes. Okay, and then the last book I have for this week is called Bonus Daddy. This is by Daphne Elliott, and this is the 3rd and final book in the Dadcom series. So Jess needs a lawyer. She's wanting to move back to Vermont, but her ex-husband is refusing to let her move out of state. And so she's trying to find a lawyer that can help her. He has a lot of money. She doesn't. So it's not gone well for her. So she's come to their law firm. Sloan was supposed to do it, but she's on maternity leave. So she, oh, my nails keep chipping.
Focus.
I'm sorry. She refers this to Brian. So Brian and Jess meet at the law firm, and Brian is shocked to realize that this is Jess, who was his college girlfriend 20 years ago. And she's like, "Oh, Brian." And from there, they kind of spend time together. All of a sudden, she's friends with the other women and leaving her kids there when she needs a babysitter. And it just went a little too fast for me in establishing some of these friendships. Like, and like all of a sudden I'm leaving my kids here, you're my attorney's office, I haven't seen my college boyfriend in 20 years. It just felt weird to me. And then I just kind of started to lose a lot of interest in it. So I only rated it 3 stars. I'm not sure. I really like the mom coms, and so I thought I was gonna love the dad coms too. And as you guys have probably noticed, that was not the case for me throughout these books, that they just haven't hit right. And I'm not really sure why. But in this one, I just didn't really understand why Brian liked her. And yeah, it
Okay.
just it yeah, it just didn't hit right for me. It was just me though, probably. So yeah, so
Okay.
3 stars on that one.
All right. Well, that's our week.
That was a
That was a wrap up. Yep.
Yes. So as I tried to say earlier today, thanks for being here. And make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays and Wednesdays for new videos from us.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.